Welcome to Tavern Talk. We are a Wheel of Time full spoiler show based on the epic fantasy series by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan. Joining me is dancing as always is B Dizzle.
Well, yo!
I got Beth Doman to my horizontal left.
Hello.
Jansen the Gleeman with a very amazing Pride shirt. And special guest Tavern has been joining us through the geography analysis that we are going through. That's right, we're getting topographical, we're getting geographical. Bring out your atlases, bring out your maps. It's going to get crazy. We're going to nerd out on the fires of heaven and Lord of Chaos, sorry. And we're going to talk about the new places we see. We've been going through each book. If you haven't seen the full series, it's all available in a playlist for you. But until then, enjoy books 4, 5, and 6, right? 5 and 6.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. You know what, guys? I've been marveling over the skill of cartography. And I was thinking that you had to make entirely new maps after the breaking. I think you would have certain landmarks, like they're like, okay, there's that big statue, there's a pillar, and then just kind of go from there. But I think that like you needed more Lewis and Clarks out there, all right?
Right. Yeah. And actually, then you got to think about how the technology just like got torn asunder. So yeah, you don't have computers, you don't have that amazing iPad with all the books of knowledge. You don't have anything, so you're starting over from scratch. Using what? They went from like the best to the worst. They went back to horse and buggy.
Yeah, they actually did go back to horse and buggy.
Yeah. At what point did you pick up on the post-apocalyptic side of this? Was it your first reading? Was it your second reading?
That's a really, really good question. I think for me, it was my second reading through the whole book. I got a different perspective of it after reading it the first time and then going back in. And that was had a lot to do with the very first part of the book, the prologue of The Eye of the World, because it made you realize what was actually going on at the time and what kind of men these people were, and how going into the chapter 1, An Open Road, showed where the state of the world was. Mm-hmm. Because Rand is with Bella and the cart, and they were pretty medieval.
Yeah, I used to think that the whole breaking of the world was them explaining like nuclear holocaust, right? Like when I first read it, that was my whole intent. My whole thought process was that these were like country kind of bumpkins trying to figure out the world, and they had low technology, and they're just making shit up to try and narratives that made sense. Right, like why not? Why would they understand even what a missile or a nuclear missile was? They can't, so they come up with like fantastical stories of magical people. But turns out to be true.
I'll be honest. In my reading, I assume that I completely forgot about the prologue like 10 chapters in.
Yeah.
Just to be honest.
No, I caught on to the, this was a rebranding of the world right from the get-go. They put it out there. And once you establish that, you do get pulled into the story that you forget until they mention it again, that there was a cataclysm, that there was something that happened. And then you go, yeah, these guys had to start from scratch. And pretty much the good thing about it is that they kept the basics, so it's not like they went back like prehistoric, whatever. They kept the basics, so they had the basics of how to build a house and how to thatch a roof and and that kind of stuff. And that's what they stuck with, because technology was not something they wanted to mess with. Until Rand puts that school together, they are very content in living in their little world.
I mean, even the Aes Sedai have an entire warehouse of stuff that they're just like, shrug. That's a shrug warehouse over there. We don't know.
Hey Beth, what about you? When did you feel like you understood this to be somewhat post-apocalyptic?
I think the first time it really resonated with me was when we were in Tanchico and we had the skeleton of the giraffe. And then like I think that was really the artifacts that they were talking about in Tanchico, like the Mercedes logo, which I didn't know at the time that's really what it was. But I think because in explaining the skeleton's not the word, the fossils, I guess, made me like, that was when it really like that I recall it really resonating. And then of course in the rereads, even in the first couple of chapters of Eye of the World, when Tom is talking about the stories of Amla and
Sorry, I recognize those references right off the bat as well. I'm all Elizabeth. That's got to be Queen's Elizabeth. Mosk and Merc.
Mosk and Merc and Amla, and the Great Healer and Mother Teresa and
Mother Tress.
And the
end. I did,
yeah.
But you didn't know is that dude's daughter. You didn't know is that
John Glenn and Sally Ride. Yeah.
What the hell? You didn't know that.
No, Ryan. That whole thing where Tom says, "I can tell you stories about." I knew that these were all stories from our time. Okay. I will say yes. No. I'll challenge you. No.
Okay. I got Jack. All right. So I did not, but I definitely heard him say like ages that end in fire and ages that end in ice. Yeah. And that, makes me think of like, nuclear war, global like cooling, all the different things that like have happened. Hey, I just want to quickly, have you guys ever entertained the idea that this happened on our world? That there have been civilizations that were advanced in certain ways?
Absolutely. I watched a documentary, maybe. There is some weird mic feedback. Somebody's given it's like
there
a
is
clicky,
crazy,
weird,
scratchy
sound. But no, there was a thing about the oldest known, and I want to say it's where Lee.
Göbekli Tepe?
No, I can't remember what it was, but it's like supposedly like the oldest known structure. But then they did like carbon dating, and it's even like way older. Way older than they thought it was, like by 10,000 years older. Oh, shit. And I've always been fascinated by that. I'm not saying like there's aliens among us or anything like that, but Battlestar Galactica is the greatest science fiction TV show of all time. So there very well could be aliens among us. But that being said, the ancient technology that civilizations that are now extinct, how did they do those things? How did they measure perfection on the winter solstice and the spring equinox? Like how did they do that? It's fascinating to me that there are civilizations that are now extinct that we just don't know. How did they make Stonehenge? How did they move those rocks?
How'd they figure out coffee?
All right, real quick, I just got to get this out there. I think Graham Hancock's kind of a quack. Sorry, Elf Witch.
I know who Graham Hancock is. I don't know who he is.
I've heard, yeah.
The only thing he's contributed meaningfully to society is the stoned ape theory, which is the one I agree with, but everything else is just conjecture.
I like the passion he brings, and I like the discourse that he offers. I think
he does start a lot of discourse. That is
I know, but I like science too, Dan. I like fun stories, and I like science.
I think Randall Carlson, who he talks to a bit, like I like that science of flooding within North America. I like seeing the geological shit that he's able to point out that does help, I guess, support Graham Hancock's theories of North American because we don't have shit. We're told they just crossed over a Bering Bridge, but there's nothing. There's
I have a
nothing.
theory on some of that delves into this thing. So I learned the other day, and I posted it on X, that the Aztecs didn't call themselves the Aztecs. They called themselves the Mexica, which is where Mexico comes from. But anthropologists were like, we can't keep saying Mexico and Mexica, so we're going to call them the Aztecs, right? So the Mexica claim to come from Aztlan, Aztlan, which sounds an awful lot like Atlantis or Atlas, who was the first king of Atlantis, supposedly. And you have pyramids in Western Africa and pyramids in Central America.
And way up in the freaking mountains.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that people traveled from that part of the world to this part of the world and didn't just take the land bridge. This is an entire civilization, them and the Mayans, that just vanished. They just vanished. Like, we have history up to a certain point and then poof, gone. You know,
there are still indigenous people there, though.
There are
still
some
indigenous
remnants.
people that are right, but they were basically wiped out because of disease. The Europeans' colonization colonialism brought smallpox. That single-handedly decimated indigenous peoples here.
Oh yeah, the whole conquistador thing was
exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, everyone can just the fact that we found some cave woman with marijuana on her is just all I need to know.
That.
And you had mentioned it before, Tavern. I do firmly believe that there was something like Atlantis, that we've seen what climate change can do. We've seen that the oceans are a bit volatile. And if you have a country out, we've seen that these things can happen in our own lifetime. I think, of course, there was a city, a glorious city perhaps, Plato writes about it, that no longer exists, that now is just either myth or whatnot, that we still don't know because the ocean floor is so.
Well, here's the thing: they're claiming that it didn't sink into the ocean. The theory is that the Eye of the Sahara was Atlantis because of the geological formation is exactly what Plato described.
Jansen, can't hear you, buddy. No,
can't hear you, Jansen.
You're muted again.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, and also like ancient civilizations, like just the very fact that like we are living on like a very thin crust with a huge lava mantle, and all of like we know about plate tectonics and just all that kinetic force. Like we're basically upturning. Like all of our fossil records will very soon, in the grand scheme of things, become lava and become gone, or like just gone. So yeah, like over millennia, like it does make sense to me that like there could have been like peoples who were able to do certain things. I don't think they're able to do what we're doing.
Well, I think we also need to blame water and ocean, because we are able to dig and find lots of things on dry land.
Yeah.
But we can't find shit under the water. And so I think that there may have been ocean ships that have that. I mean, we found skeletons, humanoid skeletons that are over 200,000 years old. Do you think that the human progress was always boom, 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 and then suddenly we have an iPhone?
Well, that's a stone ape. Well, that's Graham Hancock's stoned ape theory. Baby.
I agree.
Like some brave, oh Jesus, some brave
monkey.
No, not monkey. Like what? Like God, like
early man, hominoid.
Early. Yeah, he just tried some mushrooms and all of a sudden grew a frontal lobe, and then invented math.
See, but that doesn't make sense. That's not how mushrooms work, right?
Well, I mean that's Graham Hand. Anyways,
that's not. It's not quite.
You mentioned fossils, which takes me back to what Beth said earlier when we were talking about the Wheel of Time and the giraffe fossil. And she made a good point. I mean, bringing that up, because if you think about it, all of those animals that they have in the Wheel of Time, the fossils, like the giraffe and you mentioned and whatnot, those would have been zoo specimens or zoo animals. They're not native to this area of the world or whatever area of the world we happen to be in. So, yeah, they would go extinct in this part of the world if they weren't naturally from here. So all we would have would be fossils, right? So somewhere else outside of Randland, there are probably giraffes still running around.
That's a good point. I never
We have
thought of that.
shreddits across the sea. So everything got wiped out. So unless there was a mass populace of that type of animal in an area, and some of them survived and reproduced and whatnot, you wouldn't get that. So zoo animals, if the zoos got destroyed, you wouldn't have anything but fossils left of those things.
Let me then ask you: do you think that Randland has an Australia that has kangaroos and wallabies and koalas and things that they've never seen before? That
like somewhere else in the world of
The
Randland?
Madlands.
Yes, absolutely.
The Madlands is Australia.
No,
we can hear you.
yeah.
Yes, Hi,
Kinda.
Jensen.
Isn't the Madlands
You
Australia?
guys remember
No, I honestly
the
think that the Madlands is
It's
the
Cuba.
north of Africa. Or part of Africa.
Wait, Jansen, you're saying the Isle of Madmen is what? That's Australia, right? Man, you are now
Your
slowing down.
connection is
You're all sorts of effed up right now. Okay, so yeah, those direct one-on-one. I mean, there's also the whole Pangea situation where if you go back far enough, like all of the continents were kind of smushed together. So that kind of
Is that what the breaking? Was there an Isle of Madmen before the breaking?
Well, I always thought that's how they explained how we got continents, but it was always just really science would say it's like a slow thing, but they're like, oh, it happened all at once.
I'm saying in Randland.
I always took Randland as being Europe and like the Blight being like Russia, and the northern part of Europe and Russia and so forth, and then like the Isle of Madmen was the remnants of maybe North Africa or something like that. I don't know if we've ever seen the entire globe. I mean, I know we have the map that shows Tremalking and all that stuff, but was that all of it?
Yeah, how far? I don't think it's very far. Yeah, I don't think it's on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I think that there was parts that just we didn't deal with because, the story focused here.
Jansen, let's try your mic here in this question. Let's bring it. What do you think that everything we see is everything on the planet Rand?
On the planet Rand, I love that. I don't know if he can hear. Jansen, can you hear us?
I'm assuming he's having problems.
Okay. So.
Yeah, maybe restart your stuff again.
Yeah, god damn it. I'm sorry. I think it's your internet connection is very shoddy. Oh, there you are. Do you think there's an Australia, or do you think that's the Isle of Madmen?
Okay.
I
was going to tell him to blink twice, but
tech monsters, man.
It's just crazy today.
All right, well,
let's blame the sun, shall we? It's solar flares. It's a heat dome.
This is true.
God, remember when Trump just looked into the
Beth's dog can't even go pee outside. It's too hot. The dog will melt.
Well, no, she wants to go lay down outside. And no, we're not doing that.
I actually studied, because I know that, we know that Robert Jordan was a huge fan of J.R. Tolkien. And there are plenty of things that were kind of pulled into the Wheel of Time from there. And I looked at the map in Lord of the Rings and put it up next to Randland, and lo and behold, if Mordor and where Shia Ghul is doesn't kind of match up, it kind of matches up. It's kind of weird. It's very similar. Yeah, it's very similar.
Well, fun.
Yeah.
And Robert Jordan has the Mountains of Doom.
Mm-hmm. We have Dragon Mountain.
with the superfluous H, but yeah. Anyways,
The H.
that fun little H,
Vestigial.
Is Jansen at home or is he traveling?
I think he's at home.
I'm gonna
look like-
text him and say reset your router before you try getting back online.
It's probably a good idea, yeah.
Good call.
I mean, I could talk ancient civilizations all night, but I do
One
like...
word, Ryan. One word, Anunnaki. No, I'm just kidding.
What is that?
Anunnaki.
You don't know what the Anunnaki is? What?
Oh no, those are the original big-headed people, right?
Yeah,
that had,
yeah. They're the ones that were before.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Esperanza.
Esperanza.
You guys have derailed this conversation in a greatest fashion that I've seen in a hot minute.
No, we are bringing it in now because this is all talk about aliens. And look,
I didn't derail it. I just jumped on the train.
Yeah,
we
no,
have
it was going off the
Did
rails.
we talk settings already, guys?
Not this time. No, we haven't talked steady.
all right.
All right, so yeah, this is let's talk settings. This is kind of like the Anunnaki. Well, yeah, let's say that this is the Anunnaki.
What are the Anunnaki? I don't know. I'm not that into that stuff.
They're the enlightened ones that have
Let me see if I
the
can
big
come up with a
heads.
definition.
Yeah.
Oh, like the guys that Dan Aykroyd and what's her name?
It says Anunnaki.
Coneheads? The Coneheads?
They
Sure,
get,
you're
You're talking
they,
about the ones with the enlarged, okay, never mind. I know they are.
All right, here we go.
Never mind.
no, it's
Never mind.
Robin
The
Williams
Anunnaki
saying
are a
Nanu
group of-
Nanu.
Are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians.
Got
in
it.
The earliest Sumerian writings about them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And this is the part of the earliest writings that we have ever. That was the
true.
Sumerians. They're talking about these creatures, and they also do etchings and drawings of weird things in the space. And so let's call these the Ogiernakis.
Ogiernaki. It's okay.
Which sounds like the grossest
Sorry, Pep, I didn't mean this to go this
the grossest sushi ever, right? Can I get an Ogiernaki, please?
Ogiernaki.
I think it has octopus, eel, and a little bit of ogier
Wow.
wrapped in seaweed.
I'm not gonna eat that. I'm just gonna put that out there. Not touching that.
So we have steadings, guys. Steadings.
Yes.
All right. So the ogier were around before the breaking. The steadings did move, hence the longing. But let's talk about steadings themselves. And the ogier, I guess, as a society and as a place of respite. There's different times where our characters have gone into settings. They feel emotionally different. Not only emotionally, they feel physically different. They feel a little bit rested, but they also can't touch the source at all. They're I don't know. So what I mean,
Right here. Let me add to that, Dan. The Origins of the Wheel of Time by Michael Livingston.
Thank you.
The steading passage reads as follows. These refuges where channeling is suppressed and so much of the world is set aside get their name from their role as being the homestead of the Ogier, a word with connotations of frontier settlement which is similar to the position the Ogier must take relative to our world. In appearance, the steading are akin to sacred groves in Greek mythology. Interestingly, most of the steading in the Wheel of Time have names that appear to be Chinese in origin, though there are a few Ogier in the Wheel of Time closest China analog Shara, and those are vanished after the breaking. All right, so
did they say Shara was China?
They said, though there are a few Ogier in the Wheel of Time's closest China analog. No, they said that Shara is the analog to China.
It would make sense because there are mulberry trees there,
Yeah.
and silkworms eat mulberry trees, and
Ooh, look at you!
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, she's just on top of it.
Speaking of silk,
It's it's weird that I always thought of the steadings as being the anti-ley lines. We talk, when we talk about fantasy, usually you have ley lines where the magic, and they cut across each other and whatnot.
Mhm.
And the steadings are like the the reverse of that. Which at least I thought that because of the way they're positioned and whatnot, they're just scattered throughout. Like, you know, and if I've never actually tried to put to lines to all the steadings. That'd be interesting to see how.
So in my head, and so I grew up in California, and part of Californian history when I was in 5th grade was the California missions, right? And
Yes.
so there's like 13 missions that are set along the north-south kind of travel route in California. That, in theory, that you can walk from one to the next in a day. Right, like so. I don't think that the steadings were like that per se, but I think that there was probably established things that when the Earth moved and things changed, the steadings moved and things changed, and so that ley line no longer existed within their internal like soul per se. Is that what you're saying? Like their GPS got fucked up?
Yeah. So if I've got the map up.
Okay.
I think I shared it. I think I shared it in there. And I just noticed something from looking at the map. All of these little leaves are steadings, right?
Can you zoom in at all?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. My eyes are old.
You're good. These little leaf-looking things, like that icon.
Yep.
Are the steadings. And if I zoom out, sorry for your eyes, you will notice that the majority of them go up this mountain range, up the eastern mountain range, and across the top left up here, where it's more hilly and more mountainous. And then where there's population, or a bigger population, they're scattered by the big cities. And that's just odd to me that the steadings, after the breaking, would have all come out in a straight line, like along the spine of the world, and over here along the mountains of mist, and then across the top through the Black Hills and whatnot. That's interesting to me.
So we don't really see steadings on the fringes on the extreme west coast.
No, we don't see that. I mean, there's a couple. You have the one by Falm, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, that could also be a ways, but yeah, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, let me zoom in and go to steading tofu or sofu that we were talking about. Yeah, it's right here. It's the little steading symbol. Or the Ogre Grove, I should say. I'll say the Ogre Grove, which is the same thing for the most part, because the one in Carrion is grayed out, because it's no more, right?
Okay.
But Sofu's right outside of it, and it's still green. There's one over by Camelin, but if you look along the right side here, along the spine of the world, you've got Yantiang, Meshang, Xingtiang, Tajing, Cantuan, Kalaman, Genshin, Dating, all the way down to Shanghai. And Shanghai's actually, I mean, the way they've depicted it here on the map is surrounded by mountains. But yeah, I mean, if this map is accurate, and so far as I've been able to tell, whoever put this together was doing a pretty damn good job. It's interesting to me because if you look toward the center, you only find these near cities. So you have the Grove and Tyr, the Grove and Ilion that are grayed out. Farmading's got a grove. So that's interesting, and they don't have names, so they're not steadings.
Let's talk about this a little bit. Were these work camps because a lot of what steadings were doing, or were the cities? Well, I mean, so they would build a city. They were the builders. They were, but then they needed to go back to a steading soon. So what came first, the steading or the city?
Well, here's the thing.
The steading came first because the steadings existed before, because the entire thing is they were searching that's where the longing came from, because they couldn't find the steading. So the steading, because when the world shifted, they couldn't find the steading anymore. And Loyal tells Rand in Eye of the World that, and if you remember, before he agrees to accompany them and guide them through the ways, Moraine is talking to him, and he doesn't remember, he doesn't know any of the names of the new city names. He only knows the old ancient names.
Yeah.
And Rand makes a comment about how beautiful Camelin is. And didn't the Ogier build it? And Loyal's like, oh, well, we only build things because you are so quick to tear them down.
Yeah.
That's so the cities came after the steading, and the groves were gifts of the Ogier to the humans, and that's why none of them exist anymore, because Tyr's pastureland now. Kyrie's turned into demand, or what's his name? Who, the Dark Friend guy.
Oh.
His estate. The only grove that exists anymore is the one outside of Tarvalin, because the Aes Sedai honor what the Ogier did.
And if you notice,
Barthanes, thank you. Barthanes' manor is built over a grove. That's why that's where all the waygates were in the groves.
Right. So these, if you notice on the map over here, the steadings actually have names. Next to the cities, it's just the groves.
Those are waygates.
Waygates,
on that map.
Yeah, waygates and groves.
Right.
So they're not actual steadings. So again, that goes to the whole thing where the steadings are all on the mountain ranges over here. You have steadings along the mountains of mist, steadings up here in the north east, but there's none in the center. Like hardly any. I mean, most of these are just groves.
All right, I got to interrupt you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Matt Stagger. Yeah.
Brother Dan, wrap it out.
Serious question: have there been, or are there any Ogier dark friends? It's not clear to me. I always wondered, are Ogier asunder?
Okay.
If there are,
Ooh, we got a Jansen voice.
All right, Jansen, can you turn your thing sideways, and then
Don't jinx it.
No, we're good. Yeah, look at that now. There's his beautiful face. All right, let's go. Let's go. Power of perseverance. I love those pillows behind you.
You look great, Jansen.
gosh, man, fine.
All
Your
right,
perseverance should be rewarded and applauded.
You got a red door and turquoise pillows. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right.
I dig it. They would go well with my orange couch.
Welcome back, Jay.
All right, we're
Planes
talking.
in the house. We got awesome.
Yeah, so we're talking steadings. We got that amazing question and a super chat from Matt Stagger, who is the absolute best.
He's awesome.
Friend of the show.
Now, if there are Ogier Dark friends, I would go along the lines of saying that we have seen some that are at least show that they don't care about life or death as much as the ones on the side that, I'm talking
about the gardeners.
The Shanshan.
You're talking about the gardeners?
Yeah, the gardeners. I think that they show bloodlust and they don't care about human life as much as the Ogier on Rand's side of it.
Do you think that they were turned to that by just the civilization of the Shanshan and how they do things, or do you think they were like that to begin with?
They actually have an agreement with the Empress, so they are the only ones that are quote unquote blood guards that don't have to sacrifice their lives for her, like contractually.
Right.
And no one knows what that agreement is.
But to me, that shows that they keep their integrity. And so it's hard for me to see an Ogier Dark Friend.
Yeah, me too. At the very end, now, just to let everyone know, this is a high spoiler show today.
Of course.
We did see at the end, in A Memory of Light, we saw both Ogier working together and fighting together. So I think that I don't see a Dark Friend.
What do you think, Beth? Are there Dark Friend Ogiers, or even the option of it?
That face says it all.
But it doesn't make sense that anything could be incorruptible.
No, because then you'd have to say that anything can be redeemable, and Trollocs and Murdral cannot be redeemable. They cannot. They cannot
Sure,
not
Narg
be
some
evil.
love. Give Narg some love.
I mean, I'm just saying. Then
Narg
you would
tried.
have to, if you were gonna have, then you would at the same time. And again, I think this is something that Robert Jordan, I don't agree with. Excuse me, in the decision that he did by making a corrupted race of beings, like he did with the Trollocs, to say that to have a race that could not be, that it's impossible for them to be corrupted or have corruption in it.
Trollocs aren't a race. The Trollocs are constructs.
They're
But
constructs, but they are
but they are bred. But they are bred
with
Yeah.
human
and
stock.
they are constructs. I get that. They are living, breathing creatures that have souls that are
Yeah.
forever tied to being corrupt, just like the orcs in Tolkien's work. There's no way that they can be redeemed, right? So to say that there's creations who, because they're also not from our plane, they are from another plane of existence that have transported here and have
Valid.
the ability to leave here, and they
Glenn
just
says
chose
that they
not
have
to.
pathetic souls, according to Robert Jordan, but they still do have souls.
Correct, they do. The Trollocs
Yeah.
do have souls, but they are not. You cannot. A Trolloc will never be able to walk in the light. Is what I'm
Of
basically
which
saying.
I love you.
I got a question though then about that, Beth, because would Trollocs not just be, since they're merged with, constructs of merging with animals, are they truly evil or are they just being animals?
Animals?
Is it nature or nurture?
No, I'm serious. I mean, are they truly evil or are they just being animals that are being used in an evil manner?
If you have anything that is half boar, it is going to be aggressive, right?
I mean, it depends on who's training it or who's raising it. That's the
A
same.
boar?
I mean,
I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean,
think
you could train a boar. I'm sure if you raised one from,
Yeah, maybe.
from a little.
Well, there is evidence that even animals have souls in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
And that evidence is when Hopper stops Perrin from killing the stag.
correct in
Yeah.
the dream. Yeah.
How come there are no bears in the Wheel of Time?
There are bears. They mention them. Perrin mentions them when he first meets Tylee Kirgan. He says that the Two Rivers men, they're not used to fighting in battlefields like you. They're used to fighting in fields, and they fight boar, bear, other things that fight back. And then he tells her, your men wouldn't know where they were going to die before they even hit them. And that was before he made the deal with her. But he does mention bear. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Why
no,
is there-
thank you.
Why are there so many damn cats in the Wheel of Time and so few dogs?
Because cats are attracted to Aes Sedai, and we have lots of people that can channel.
Yes.
I mean, we hear a lot about wolves.
And because we live in cities, and it's gonna be way more easy to have. You do see dogs in the Wheel of Time. There's Stray
Yeah,
Dog and
you-
Barrelon. There
Yeah,
are
very
mastiffs
few.
not necessarily very few, but cats are attracted to women who can channel. So
No,
that's why.
Yeah.
We see a pack of dogs in
That's true.
a tower that come after Toveen Gazelle when one of the
Yeah.
washwomen starts swishing them away, and she says, "Get on with you, Aes Sedai."
I think one of the reasons there aren't not many dogs is that when Rand went crazy and walked halfway across Randland, he killed all the dogs.
He killed every dog. Yeah.
He did kill
Every
a lot.
dog
He
that
was-
barked. Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I was pretty sad about that.
Yeah, that
I'm
really,
a dog person.
that bothered me a lot.
I'm not a cat person, and it just hurt me.
And
That's
for-
like destroy. Yeah, it's like your car alarm goes off and you just
Rivers
destroy your
never
car.
about it.
What's that?
Not too many dogs in the Two
No.
Rivers, and the cats in the Two Rivers have 6 paws or 6
They had Hemingway
Claws.
cats.
Yeah,
They had
fingers,
Hemingway
yeah.
cats in the Two Rivers. What the hell? The Two Rivers is
Yes.
Key West.
Yeah, you know why?
It's Chernobyl.
Because of the
Sure.
power of the wisdoms, maybe attracted cats.
There are dogs in. Yeah, there is a mention how dogs are in the Black Tower, but dogs do not like Aes Sedai, and there's cats, but there are no dogs in the White Tower.
And mastiffs protect the way to
Traveling
leave.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do
That's
mass
true.
limps
All right.
do, Ryan?
I recant my question.
These nuts.
These nuts?
Wow.
Mass limps and mastiffs.
Mastiffs.
All right, so
Oh my
we're gonna keep going. Let's say goodbye to Steading Sofu. Is there anything specific about Steading Sofu that we want to say? We had a broad Steading discussion.
I want to say, is it the closest one to a city?
Yeah, Camelin, I think.
Yeah, no, it's Carrion. It's Carrion.
Carian, yeah.
Kyrian, yeah.
But I think it's the closest to a big city.
Yeah, it's about a full day's walk.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
So where are we going to next?
Well, you tell me.
We haven't done any cities. We were just talking steadings, trying to get you.
And
back on
Anunnaki. You missed the whole Anunnaki thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about
Ogirnaki.
Anunnaki. It's a type of.
All right, well let's start. Let's head on over to Salad Bar.
Salad bar.
Salad
All you can
bar.
eat salad bar.
Okay, that
Okay.
took it in a whole different
Cool.
direction.
It's very conveniently located between the Johanna Road and the Great North Road. You know, everyone knows the Great North Road.
Yeah.
Clearly, a
Great.
great place for trade.
and
What
more.
do we?
It is very close to Amadisia.
Let me center Saladar. There you go. Salad bar. All you can eat. There you go.
It also is, although it is a major city within the story, it is a minor, or pretty much a forgotten place.
random,
Nynaeve can't even remember the name of it.
Well,
Yeah,
the
they had to rebuild it. It was overgrown.
before the White Cloak War.
Mhm.
And after the White Cloak War, which I believe the White Cloaks called the Troubles, they had, for some reason, vacated Saladar. And the reason why it got its name, I believe, was because one of the first blue Amerlins were from there.
Oh yeah, it was the name of wasn't it the name of the? Isn't that how they sent the message to ship to?
No, they called
to go
it
to
Sally Dara.
Yeah.
Sally
Salidara.
Dara.
Oh, that's right. I knew it was a name of some sort.
And yeah, and we hear about Salidara actually later on as well in this book. When we're going down the line, you're talking about later on when we talk about Lugard.
The cool thing, one thing I've noticed about Saladar and the surrounding regions or towns and whatnot have a very, very Spanish ring to a lot of the names. Saladar would be Salida, which is exit. Amadisia, Amador. You have where is it? Erudar, Coraman. So I mean, again, it lends
Altada.
itself to that whole
It definitely
Europe.
does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Especially when I hear you sound the way you make it sound. It sounds awesome.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's great.
Don't apologize for speaking Spanish.
Hell yeah.
No, do not.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Inexcusable.
Tavern,
Inexcusable.
how would we say alien in Spanish?
Ilian.
Oh, you don't do the double L? Yeah.
Nope. It's
Okay.
listen. It's a weird.
Eon?
We only use that.
It would be
we-
Iyan.
Iyan.
It would sound
Yang.
terrible.
It would be
Iyan.
yang, which would be horrible, and yeah, we don't.
Is
That
Jean?
would be like us calling llamas yamas. That's not how we say llama.
Wait, ¿cómo se llama llama?
Llama se llama. Llama se llama Iyan.
Lord have
Iyan.
mercy.
Palabra.
But yeah, I mean that lends itself to the whole European continent thing to me, anyways. A lot.
Well, I mean, I
of
think
the
that's pretty much
Mediterranean-
established.
Yeah, a lot
I think
of the
that's established.
yeah, like what is it? The Sea of Storms is it down here? Wait, where's my? Yeah, the Sea of Storms down here is basically freaking the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I think of Saladar, I think of like Little House on the Prairie, a little town with a river on the side, like grass. It's looks like a ghost town to me. And it's that's what I see. I think of that.
Thanks, Jansen. Now I have the Little House on the Prairie theme song in my head.
I'm sorry.
Good night, Beth Doman.
How does that go? Nice.
Na na na
Na na na na na na. Sorry.
One of the things that I like about
I just fell down a hill.
Please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, get Lassie. Lassie will come tell us.
Well, no, that's Little House of the Prairie.
Oh,
Little House on the Prairie,
different
she
show.
falls down.
This is true.
falls
This
down
is
the
true.
Falls down. And there's a little twang on the banjo when it happens.
So good. So good.
I love Little House on the Prairie when I was growing
So
up.
good.
What can I say?
To
Did she
think
get
that
scurvy? How'd she get blind? Was it scurvy?
Mary,
Yes.
no, she had rheumatic fever.
Oh, okay. I knew it was-
Scurvy. Did you say scurvy?
Yeah, some easily fixed rheumatic fever.
She,
All right, go ahead, Jess.
Scarlet fever.
Scarlet fever, rheumatic fever, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Saladar.
Saladar.
Something that I really, really like about Saladar, that a lot of people might not even talk about.
Croutons.
Some of the books, Saladar brought us a new focal point for stories.
Say
Go
that
on.
again?
It brought us a new base of operations.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And a new place that like things happened from, where decisions were made and they came out from, where eyes and ears were going into and going out of. It was a new place, and a new scenery for your mind in the book.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was refreshing to have a place like that, which is a really cool to talk about Saladar, because we are going to be talking about places that Swan Sanche has been in this episode a lot, and Saladar is one of the places where she has a lot of part of the story.
Yeah.
When you guys first read, the chapters concerning Saladar when they first got there, in my mind, I pictured just like this overrun, like little town that was just overtaken by trees and grass, and because they had to clear it out. And to me, it was always just this muddy mess, and
Like
just,
a Walking Dead city.
well, more like almost like a campground type thing that you would find, when you send your kids to summer camp or something.
I can see
And
that.
that's how I picture it. It's just surrounded by woods and just a bunch of like wooden buildings that they had to clean out and stuff. Poor warders had to do all that work. But that's how what did you guys think when you saw it? Because Elfwish is saying has a very dusty, bustling feeling. I didn't think it was dusty at all to me.
Well, like I said, to me, it seems like a ghost town, like a southwestern type ghost town, which it was. With a river going through it, and it seemed to me like, because of where it was written, like I stated before, it was a new base of operations, new scenery for the mind and everything. For me, it was a fresh place. It seemed like it was fresh there. I know that they did have some writings in the book about it when it was nighttime, but I always feel like it's shiny and bright in Saladar. The sun is out, and there's a sense of purpose.
Definitely, yes.
At least as soon as Swan gets in.
Yeah, shit's definitely going on there every day.
Yeah, in the wiki it says that it has been abandoned since the White Cloak War.
For 100 years.
It says 40 years.
40 years. Okay.
Still a lot.
I mean, the thing is that you have to remember too is that you will constantly hear about people like furniture mismatching, and Aes Sedai having to share rooms with each other.
Which
in
is
what
why I
used to
thought it
be
was so
the inn.
small.
It's I'd say it's a village, the size of a village.
Yeah,
Right.
but and I can see why it was 40 years because it's still not old enough because people still know where it is.
Yeah, that's true.
But you can also imagine the intensity of the imposter syndrome of calling this the other White Tower when you're just finding a place that's no one's at. And you're like, all right, let's just set up here, put this weird table in here, doesn't match, that's fine, let's do this. I mean, it is hard to, like, I don't know, you have the glorious White Tower and then you have Saladar.
That came basically from the politics, right? So the separation of the tower, it was just, they named it that because they were trying to establish themselves as the true tower.
Well, they didn't name it. It was not that. It was
The little tower.
Little Tower.
The little tower. Yeah,
a nickname, and like so many other names in the Wheel of Time.
Is that like Lil Baby and Lil Bow Wow and
nicknames and old names in Wheel of
Lil
Time.
Tower?
Yeah, like, even the Black Tower.
LIL apostrophe.
Yeah. Wait, sorry.
what was that
Jez,
dancing about the Black Tower?
I said even the Black Tower started off as a nickname too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes nicknames have a way of sticking.
But in the case of Saladar, though, it was a nickname, but it took on a whole new meaning because it literally was opposing the White Tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It got so big that was the name that stuck. And they had their own sitters, they had their own Amerlin, the whole 9 yards. Where the Black Tower was just a nickname. And I can see it's almost like from a military perspective, a unit gets a nickname and they take it to heart. For example, I was with VMA 211, the Wake Island Avengers. That was a nickname. It was the squadron that went in to avenge the troops that surrendered at Wake Island.
Wow.
So it grows, and so the Black Tower kind of grew on its own, whereas Saladar and the Little Tower, I think, one, it was a nickname, yes, but it became so much more than that. It became a whole, like a political force, all in its own. Because remember, they had to keep bringing Aes Sedai in there to convince them that they were the true, tower, the true remnants of the Aes Sedai. So it just became this huge thing, which I really did love the Saladar stuff.
Yeah, I love it too. I thought it was.
So this is an interesting fact. The wiki is saying that there's a historical, I won't say parallel. It says here it's a birthplace of Deanne Araman, who is considered one of the greatest Amerlins, who is credited with restoring the prestige of the Aes Sedai after her predecessor Bonwyn
So she was
Maragedon.
Blue Aja, and Bonwyn was Red Aja, and Bonwyn was the Aes Sedai again during Arthur Hawkwing's reign, I believe.
Yep.
And she was the last Red Amerlin, and she was disgraced.
Yeah.
And
look at you. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So that's one of those. Is this the cyclical nature of time? Also, here's an interesting thing. It says the name might come from the expression cellar door, which is regarded as one of the most phonetically pleasing phrases.
Cellar door?
What?
Cellar door. Have you ever heard of that?
Would you please open my cellar door?
Wow.
And what's the celery door? I think so. I think Saladar is very important. I think we kind of underestimate just how kind of quaint the whole thing is, and it was housing thousands of people that I don't think that it really held super awesome, right? I mean, to a certain degree.
It will ever hold a place in history because it was also the place Nynaeve Almira healed what could not be healed.
Yep.
Yeah. Brother Dan's annoying personality.
Wait.
What?
Sorry.
What?
Let's move on.
B Dizzle.
See? Whoever names himself B Dizzle.
Where did he go?
All right, so after Saladar, you want to check out a fun place called the Caroline Grass? which everyone should be available in your local dispensary soon.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Where is it? Over this way?
Oh yeah, let's find out.
Show that map that you had up there again. Put that back up.
Boing.
Graphic. So it's
right over Andor.
There's Camelin. So it's over here somewhere. We don't have it on this map, I don't think.
Sad.
Yeah, it's over here. We have Jorn Hill.
All right, so he talks about it in the Brother Dan, come back. I'm just kidding. All right, the origins of Wheel Time. Michael Livingston says,
I accept your apology.
These Caroline grass, which again should be available in let's say 7-Eleven should be selling this shit soon.
Ryan, would you name your weed Caroline grass?
Oh,
No.
Listen. If they had Wheel of Time weed, it would be Caroline grass, Brame wood. There'd be all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, we'd have Two Rivers Tobacco.
Two Rivers Tobacco, yeah.
For sure. We'd have OG Oos. What? Well, no, I guess.
Kush Hinderstaff. Come on now. Hinderstaff has to have its own.
Right.
Shidar, yeah. Shidar Kush. OG Whitebridge.
Ogier.
Simba,
Ogier.
OG or Sticky.
Shanghai. Or no, wait. Shanghai.
Y'all.
Sofu.
All right, here we go. Yeah,
Sorry. We've lost Beth
I
again.
kept thinking it was going to end, and it's not ending.
I would be stuck at home smoking Copland Brown.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Sticks and Stones.
All right. So Caroline Grass does not make the naming tier. That's fine. These extraordinary grasslands, crossed by a few aside from the Tuathlon, are reminiscent of the Great Plains of the United States. Their name and appearance, however, derived from the long-bladed sweetgrass that grows in the low country of South Carolina. The weaving of sweetgrass baskets began with techniques brought to America through the slave trade, and today these traditions are maintained by the Gula artists, who often sell their remarkable work on the sidewalks of downtown Charleston near Jordan's home.
Hey, Ryan, how hungry do you got to be as a person to find something called sweetgrass?
Well, I
Carolina sweetgrass. Oh yeah, I've been trying all these fucking grasses. It's pretty sweet. I don't get it. Who's eating all this grass? My dog eats grass, and I tell her, don't do that. Come on.
No, okay. Well, first, yeah, I mean,
Maybe
so,
I'm growing Carolina sweetgrass outside. Maybe it's just delicious.
yeah, like every time your dog is like, Jesus Christ, let me taste this nectar of the gods. And
Fucking
you're like,
knock it
no.
off. Your digestive health is fine.
I can't.
All right. So what happens? Why is this significant in the story? What happens? Does anything happen in the Caroline grass?
Well, aside from where Egwene and Perrin end up after Shadar Lagat.
Oh, is that where they went? Okay.
Ish. I believe there's a split
Ish.
between Gareth Grin and the White Lions up there.
Yeah.
Something like that. Before they go and join forces with God, what's the guy from Torum Rioton?
Don't the Borderlanders come down? I know they come down through the mountains to the east, but eventually they come down through Andor. Don't they cut across the Caroline Grass?
That makes sense.
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. The only path I would think they would be coming in from the east. So, and they didn't go through Whitebridge. They were trying to stay hidden. So I would think they would probably have come through the Caroline Grass.
Makes sense. And there was a lot of them. So it makes
Yeah, there's a shit ton of them. To not be seen?
yeah.
My headcanon honestly facilitates back and forth between like wheat, like up to my like waist, and just plains that are just like half brown, half like little tiny scrubby brown, as far as like the Caroline grass. But when I think of Caroline grass, I think of like fucking wheat, man. I think of things that are like waist high. Or does anyone picture this or what? or no?
During the Trolloc Wars or pre-Trolloc Wars, the Caroline Grass that was covered by towns, and there were other nations there. And these were some of the ones that faded away after the Trolloc Wars. So there was,
just scrubland, like walking through like.
Picture like without the water, but picture the sawgrass of the Everglades. Just grass, like tall grass. That's just
Picture a savannah
like up to
in Africa.
Yeah, savannah in Africa or anything like that. Like where
like so up to your knee,
or
up
the
to your
Great
waist?
Plains in the United States
I'm
before we
thinking-
decimated it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe up to chest height.
Yeah.
All right,
Easy.
that's what I'm wondering. How high is this grass? What do you think, Beth?
I mean,
Ryan, it matters.
tall grass. It's like
All right, tall grass.
It's like hide in the
past
tall
your knee.
grass. It's like what Aloy would do in Horizon Zero Dawn. Hide in the tall grass.
Thank you. That's a great.
Okay.
analogy.
No, yeah,
Perfect.
like you're like, how Children of the Corn are we talking here? Are we
Let's not
just
go
like-
Children of the Corn. We'll just stay away from them.
He wants to
All right.
sue Malachi.
so the nations that so here's some history. It says here Caroline Grass was once inhabited with the kingdom of Coromanda, which is one of the 10 nations.
And that's one of the things that Ingtar tells us, because we go through the Corlean Grass and the Great Hunt when we're coming south from Shinar towards Kyrian, isn't it? The Caroline, isn't that
Caroline
the area?
Caroline Grass is north of Camelin. Carrion.
What's the remote area that's in between Shinar and Kyrian called?
We have the Field of Taladar. I mean, it's just a big.
Okay, there's like a bunch of it's a bunch of unpopulated land.
Yeah.
What a Holocausty with all the facts. Yoo-hoo! Elfwish is picturing the ending scene of Gladiator.
Yeah, where he's rolling his hands.
So
that's
that's
weak, though.
kinda
I
what
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. I love that.
That's a good
Okay.
call.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was always wondering because the Great Plains are actually
okay, I'm way
they're
off.
not super
I'm way
high.
off.
Yeah, look at that.
Los Cerritos Negros.
Right,
Is that right?
Come through there.
The Black Hills.
Los Cerrillos Negros.
Is that right?
I can't remember what the hell hills is called.
I think it's Los Cerritos.
I think you're right.
Are they alive with the sound of music?
Yeah. All right. How do you say that in Spanish? The hills are alive with sound of music. And sing
I
it,
don't know
please.
the word for hills. Is it Cerrillos?
Los
Los Cerrillos.
Los Cerrillos viven con el sonido de la música.
Yes. And that's a
All
great
right, so
thing.
I'll do my Spanglish, right?
Guadalajara.
Los Cerritos.
Cerritos.
Está Vedim.
What language is that?
Vadim?
Oh,
Alive is vivir,
Con
right?
los
To live is...
are alive.
Viving or están vivo.
Vivas. Yeah.
All right.
All right. I think I got it.
Yeah. Well done. Hey, let's go into
Solamente entiendo más que hablo.
Altara.
Los sounds de la música.
This is actually a very Mexican name, Guadalajara, where Elvis did a whole thing once. Guadalajara.
so
He did a thing?
Was
No, it was
wait,
Guadalajara.
what era? What
It was
era?
Guadalajara. I don't know what.
Elvis, are we talking about?
Well, yeah.
I want a picture.
It was the era where he would.
What BMI?
What
Which
was it that Eddie Murphy
BMI?
said? Lemonade. That cool, refreshing drink.
Hey.
I love Eddie Murphy.
Like his
Y'all
sideburns
are so
are like...
off the rails tonight. Did
His
you guys
sideburns
take
can be
your
described
meds?
as, one
Did you all take your
finger...
meds? Just wondering.
I did. I didn't take anything else, though. I think is the problem with me.
Okay. You're a little wild tonight, y'all.
Hey, Mets fix most things.
They
That's
do, and they're
hence
great.
The name.
So, what happens in Altara?
Well, we come into Altara with it being very different. It takes a lot of changes from when we first find Altera till in the end of the books. There's a lot of new things that happen when we come into Altera. At first, it is almost a nation in name only.
Yeah.
And with a queen who Rit probably goes about 20 miles outside of the dock.
Yeah.
Thailand, Mitso, Quintera, high seat of House. And
do you got one of those Neuralink things plugged in or something?
no.
How do you remember all this crap?
Oh, no, Jansen is... you know what? I've thought about this, Tavern. Jansen is a professional actor. He has to learn and memorize and study. He reads and he retains based on his profession. So he has like this ability. What chapter was that, Jansen? Where we got Altara?
When we first meet Thailand, that was what, book 7 or book 6? Yeah, that's book 6. Book 6, a new. Let's see.
I can stump him. I think I can stump him.
That's before Mashiara. So I would say it's in the mid. It's after Matt leaves Saladar, and so I would say chapter 32, maybe.
I'm gonna stump him. Okay, I'm gonna assume that you're right because I don't think you've been wrong. So, chapter 32. So, yeah. On what line of what page did the word Thailand first appear?
12.
If he gets this, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Depends on what book you have, though.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna say hardcover. We're gonna say hardcover. First edition, of course, because you know.
Okay.
Jansen, I don't sanction this, by the way. I think you're great. I do not like this Olympics, Jansen Olympics.
I would. I mean, I know for a fact it's either Fires of Heaven or Lord of Chaos. I know that.
I'm just listen. I don't expect anybody to know that.
It's not where you think though, because I believe it's from Shiriam when you hear Thailand's name first mentioned. And it's to Nynaeve and Elaine about Marililici and Devon being capable enough to handle all the things that need to be done in Idar. But I can't remember the exact one.
No, man, I wouldn't expect you to, but you gave it a hell of a try. Damn, you came up with answers that I didn't expect. Always impresses me. Always.
It's I love this series, man. I do. I remember everything about it, but you know, Altera Abu Dar specifically is another place that I like because of the new change of scenery and because it's a new spot for a lot of different people and different characters in the book. We get a lot of descriptions from Altara. A lot from Matt as well, which are some of my favorite descriptions from Altara. Like that's where Matt meets a lot of funny side characters that he meets, like Torque Fearnam, who sold him Akain, and that's one of my favorite. When Matt starts dickering with him is pretty cool. I thought that was really cool. That shows like some of Matt's like side skills and stuff like that. But Matt did his entire courting going through Altera with Tuon. And she got to learn a lot about the nation that she was going to be, in all sense ruling. And she got to know more about the locals and, be out there, something that she had never done before.
Yeah.
And we got to see it, Altara, through her eyes as someone from a different country, from a different place. And I liked that. It was very cool. She had a lot to say about the Alterans. In fact, I think the last thing she said about the Alterans was that they were making a great addition to the Empire now that they were properly tamed.
Abu Dar was probably the most colorful, to me, the most colorful city in the Wheel of Time. Everything about it was just incredible.
I think so too. It had the Rahad.
Yeah.
It had that New Orleans feeling to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like you just said about Ebudar, New Orleans is that kind of city. There's no other town, no other city like it in the country. It stands on its own, and even and I think that kind of might have been what Robert Jordan was trying to get at, because even in the book, everyone who talked about Ebudar talked about it like they talk about New Orleans. It was like, oh, you're going to Ebudar. You got,
Bring your beads.
Bring your beads. God damn it.
All right, so I've done a little research, guys, while we've been sitting here talking. I've asked ChatGPT.
Okay, there we go.
I said, when was the first time the name Thailand is used in the Wheel of Time? Tell me the quotation. So it says, the first mention of Thailand is in Lord of Chaos, the 6th book. And it says, Queen Thailand of Altara is a most dangerous woman, Elaine. Do not underestimate her. That's from chapter 48, Leave Taking. But I said, what chapter is that? And it says, I apologize for the error in my previous message. The first mention of Thailand actually occurs in A Crown of Swords, not Lord of Chaos. The specific chapter is chapter 29, entitled The Festival of Birds. Here is the quotation. Elaine, Thailand Kantara Mitsabar, the Queen of Altara, will not give up her throne easily. And I asked, when is the first time we meet her? That is A Crown of Swords, chapter 30, The First Cup. And it is, Matt did not recognize the two women waiting in the hallway outside the apartment they had been given, but their clothes made them as clearly as livery.
All right, so
it says, this could be no one but Thailand, Queen of Altara.
I think that's all wrong, Dan.
Yeah, I was about to say, ChatGPT is not known for.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. So yeah,
now let me say, are you sure? See what it says.
Okay, well, yeah, do that. But here, the wiki says she's first mentions in Lord of Chaos chapter 7, and she first appears in Lord of Chaos chapter 48. So she's mentioned, but it's still like we don't even hear about her.
What chapter was
that? Chapter 7 is when she's mentioned, and then chapter 48 is when she first appears.
Crown of Swords?
Lord of Chaos.
Lord of Chaos.
So yeah, I mean, it's relevant. We're discussing that now, but
yeah, it's so funny because I just all I do is say really, and it says I apologize, I'm wrong.
It changes real quick.
Now it's Crown of Swords, chapter 31, titled Mashiara.
Okay, well, anything else about Altara as we're looking up?
Well, people are fiery and passionate. They're very polite, and women are held in a very, very, very high regard. In fact, the laws protect all women to the point of.
Well, if they're constantly showing their breasts for beads, like it's got to give them some sort of clout.
Like, yeah, but also there's also something else that Altera has that is extremely, extremely, extremely important to the entire books. They hold the kin.
Yeah, they do.
The kin are essential to how the books work and how the White Tower itself works. It is where all the runaways find themselves that make it that make it away from the tower, and not even all the runaways, but the people who are let go, the people who are asked to leave, the people who couldn't cut it and leave. They end up finding a place that welcomes them. And the tower they think that they're secret, but the tower knows about them.
So remind me, Altara, they don't, like the kin do not do like medicine woman work, more or less. They're more like they go to the tailor, they're shopkeepers, they're inns. Otherwise there would be like so many dentists or so many fucking chiropractors.
They do healing in secret.
Turns
Yeah.
wise women in the town, a lot in the Rahad, and they heal people there, and they're known worldwide for their healing prowess.
So it's like if I walk down like in Cancun and there's just pharmacy after pharmacy after pharmacy after pharmacy. These are all like healers in this place. Like to me, it's like, how would this work?
They're not though. They like Jensen said, they take up different professions, and then after a certain time, they swap out with other kin.
Oh, right.
Like we're talking like a generation. They stay out for like 70, 80 years so they can show their face again and nobody recognizes them. Yeah, so it's not, yeah. All right, I'm not going to look through that whole chapter, but...
No, and I mean, I'm asking dumb questions just to get...
You're good.
Better answers. I mean, I'm allowed to feel vulnerable here, guys. I feel this is a safe place for me to expose certain... Beth?
What are you exposing, Brother Dan?
Certain vulnerabilities.
All right.
Beth, on a scale of 1 to 10, how heavy is your head right now in your hand?
Not heavy.
Okay. So
right.
I'm gonna say that's a 3.
It's a 3.
All right. I'm just playing.
On the smiley face chart, how high is the pain?
Yeah. Is the worst pain you've ever had? Or
that would be this face.
Dancing in heaven? All right.
Are you asking me that question?
No.
All right, before we move on, Altara, as described by Michael Livingston, a kingdom of weak bonds between highly autonomous city-states, populated by olive-skinned lovers of cheese and seafood. Altara reflects Italy with its capital city of Ebudar, combining aspects of Venice with its canals, festivals, and reputation for lacework, and Rome, which is a city built on the ruins of another. Its name appears to derive from the small town of Altair, Italy, which is near Genoa, another one of the centers of power in the history of the region.
Genoa.
So Ilion is Greece. That's
Jesus Christ! Like just
it's Jesus
Genoa
Cristo.
salami.
Just vipers pouncing on. You say Genoa, I say Genoa. Genoa. Let's call the whole
thing off.
By the way,
I even know what movie it's from.
By the way, Michigan has some fucked up things like that. There's 2 cities that come to mind. One is Milan. We would call it Milan.
Milan. It's Milan.
No, it's Milan. The other one is Lake Orion, which is spelled like Orion. I mean, it is spelled Orion. We also know the belt. How do you call Orion Orion?
Listen, my daughter, a few years back, went to visit her best friend that they grew up with in Tennessee, and
you mean Tennessee?
Yeah, and I was like, "Where are you going in Tennessee?" And she comes at me with Lebanon.
Oh, Lebanon.
And I was like, "What?" I'd never heard of Lebanon, Tennessee, so I went to look it up, and I was like, "Do you mean Lebanon, Tennessee?" But this is also the girl that used to call it the Embassy Suites.
Well, was she wrong, or is the city?
It's Lebanon, Tennessee.
It's Lebanon.
Brother Dan, isn't Village Mattresses one of his stores in Lebanon?
Lebanon, Indiana.
Yeah, he did. They don't call it, but they don't say Lebanon. They call something else. He told me.
Oh, I don't know that.
The locals say probably Lebanon, like because they don't want to be. He's like, man, they don't want to be associated with that.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
This is America. You kidding me? They're not gonna fall for that.
This is America.
Yeah.
Whoop!
Lebanon. That's Steve Bannon's twin brother.
Lebanon.
He's French. Yeah, he's French.
Right. Let's switch that periscope. Let's
Amadisia.
move the Eye of Sauron on over to Amadisia. Amadisia, as
that's a funky flag, man. Throw that shit back up.
Fuck
The-
yeah,
yeah.
thanks. Yeah.
That's like a ninja
ISR.
star.
Look like a zebra's butthole.
Yeah!
Jansen. Fuck.
All right, head cannon.
Ryan, that's our first poll. Is Amadisia's flag in Zebra's butthole?
Okay.
That's not quite what I was thinking it looked like, but
Well, then you
got beat
Yeah,
up.
no, I think he wanted to
What do you
say
think?
a zebra badge, but like he's PC.
Oh god, that was fun.
All right, so is the poll, is it a butthole or a vagina?
Oh,
that a
nethers. Is
Was
it
that a
is it
play
a
you were in,
Zebra's nethers?
Jansen, were you in a play where they had a zebra's butthole? Is that what's happening?
The first thing that came to mind.
It's so
Jansen's
great.
like, yep. Yeah.
I get it. The stripes. Yeah, I get it.
Throw it back up, Ryan.
I'm doing the poll.
Yeah,
All right, here we go.
I can't look at it no more.
U.S.
That's the Ukraine zebra.
You can't.
Okay.
All right, I love it.
Amadisia, the country or the kingdom with the really jacked up names.
Yeah, so
Sharia or Sharia, or however you want to call it. Then you have Amador, which means lover, which is weird.
Damn!
Yeah.
I wish I Amador.
so
Well,
yeah, Amadisia.
Here's the thing about Amadisia.
Tell me.
Amadisia is a country that has been occupied
White cloaks.
by a military entity
Yep.
for years. It and this is one of the biggest reasons why I hate the White Clothes.
Well, that's fascinating. Let me in here in the companion by Robert Livingston. He says Michael
Robert
Livingston.
Michael
Yeah.
Livingston.
Yeah, Michael
Dr.
Jordan.
Livingston, I presume.
Okay. All right. God damn it. I'm trying to be professional here.
Names.
All right. They said Amadisia reflects the early communities of America, including those of the Puritans and their descendants. He said, but Robert Jordan no doubt had an eye towards the Crusader states of the Middle Ages as well. As for its
Makes
name,
sense.
it probably derives from Amadis de Gaula, a popular chivalric romance from late medieval Spain.
Yep.
Okay.
Very Spanish.
Yeah, it's kind of like Amadisia reminds me of like the Crusades meet the Cold War.
Okay. Yeah.
It's they have spies everywhere.
What was the?
Looking over your back? Anybody can accuse you at any time. Women can't heal people or practice medicine. It is.
Yeah.
It is a Kingdom of Heaven. The movie A Kingdom of Heaven is pretty much what it is.
No,
If
and
you've not seen that
yeah.
movie,
I mean,
Well,
this
it's
is
one
like,
of the most. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's one of the most like relevant to modern times.
Yeah.
right.
Cultures.
This is a completely regressive. It's Amasharian to a certain degree.
Amish and
no Sharia. Ahmadiyyan.
Sharia law, like Muslim.
Yeah, Ahmadiyya. Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, we are talking about where you have question. I mean, I'm blending cultures to a certain degree, but what I'm doing is that nationalist combined with severe.
Oh, so you mean Matt Gaetz would be their leader?
oh god, no.
absolutely.
No, let's leave
Yeah,
Florida out of
for
this.
real, for real, for real.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but-
No, Florida is knee deep in it, bro.
No, but it's
Get
like-
me out of
Shouldn't have
here,
done
then.
that. I'm so sorry. I'm
You're
so
supposed
sorry.
to be my
I shouldn't
friend.
have
Get
done
me
that.
out of here.
I
Get
mean,
me out of here.
I love Florida, but if we got to give up part of our country, you're
The penis has to go.
included.
yeah. It's vestigial, anyways.
You're vestigial.
Yeah. Nothing good comes from a nation's penis.
I have yet to find some place that I can move to. My wife and I are thinking about retiring soon, and we want to leave Florida, and I don't know where to go. I pick places, and I go, yeah, no.
All right. Hey, Northern California.
Apparently,
Let's go.
Florida gets better the older you get, though.
Negative.
Right?
Negative.
Why does everyone from Michigan go down there then?
Because it does
Because
snow.
they've been
Because of
fooled.
Michigan.
That's why.
Yeah, it's
Because it's Michigan.
Yeah,
I just found out that the Midwest has a thing called the cannibal sandwich, and what the hell? Why are people eating that?
We have it with Ogirigami.
Oh God. Oh, okay. God.
All right, so speaking of
I keep setting them up. I'm so sorry.
anatomy, Amadicia, what happens? So the White Cloaks are stationed out of there. Why are we just hearing about it in like books either 5 or 6? Like
We hear about the White Cloaks from as far back chronologically.
Yeah.
In the eye of the world.
no, but like the whole Amadicia. Is this the first time we get like a POV in Amadicia?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
I don't
No,
know.
we get one
We
in the
had the whole-
prologue of the Dragon Reborn with Pedro Nile when we meet
Yeah.
him for the first time. He's in Amador.
Yep.
He's at the.
Further down, they're all smarter than us.
I was about
Every
to say, you
single-
learn about them early in the
Like
book.
we make
What you
puppets.
mean us,
we're,
Kimosabe?
we're putting like humans are kicking our asses.
Right after the Darkman Social Wars.
right there.
Yeah, Boars is. He walks back out when he enters through ever like the gateway, whatever. However he got there, he goes back to the stronghold. So yeah, he's like steps foot in Amador in the beginning of the Great Hunt. But we
So no-
actually have activity in Amador for the first time in the prologue of the Dragon Reborn when
Here,
Pedro Nile.
let's
is...
get this map up. There we go. Amadicia.
Jensen, what do we know about Jeremel?
The Battle of Jeremel. Jeremel was the site of a battle, which happened way later in the books when the Shan Chan took over Amadicia. The king and his lords tried to have one last, stand and charge against the Shan Chan and were ripped into shreds.
Yeah, decimated, yeah.
They were decimated, and during that time, what's his name? He's the current Lord Captain Commander. Eamon Valda
Yeah.
manages to get his squadron off of the field, but he does witness this happen. And the survivors of the slaughter started naming it the Battle of Jeremel.
And we were talking about Amador and Amadicia itself being very Crusader-like and whatnot. And when I brought up that movie, The Kingdom of Heaven, it reminds me of that only because you have all of these different knights, right, that are supposed to be there for the Crusades, but all of these factions have all of these different things that they want to do, and they're constantly squabbling and turning on each other, all for a piece of land, that. And then you have Saladin that comes in and just wipes them all out. But yeah, it's Amador is very very sad place.
Yeah, very sad place. The laws are very, very strict.
Yeah.
But there are some good spotlights about Amadicia. I do have some good spotlights to talk about with Amadicia.
Let's go.
Amadicians, along with the Carianans, seem to be some of the most intelligent people in some instances in the Wheel of Time. They excel hugely in the spy game.
Yes.
And eyes and ears and things like that. It is also a place where men excel in healing. And they have a couple of experts in wounds in the White Cloaks, and outside of the White Cloaks in Amador, they have hedge doctors. Men are the healers, and because it's a lot easier for men to be a healer because they can't channel. And
Do we have any examples of Amadician men that were hedge doctors that ended up at the Black Tower with healing abilities?
We have of one who was a dreadlord, but I'm not sure if he was from Amadicia.
Huh.
And then we also have the one, what was his name, who helped Galad. He was his name.
I can't remember his name.
Edwin or something like that. He was an expert in wounds. And I'm blanking on the name, but he helped Galad, looked Galad over when the Lord's captain came in with Asunawa's head.
Wasn't Amadisia where we first find out about Forkroot as well?
No. Well,
yes, because that's when Nynaeve sees the sign for the yellow Aja.
Sure.
What town was
They're
that?
on their way to Saladar, and they tell Tom and Jewel and Sandar to wait for them, and then they go to the shop.
Yeah,
and she uses
chapters the signal. A signal.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I
but
think the name of the
they're
town.
traveling through Amadisia.
Yeah, and I think
and
signal, and that's when it's the yellow because she tells
sees the flower, the bunch of dried flowers.
Yeah.
And so she goes and she gives whatever the code words
a
are.
message. It's called the message.
The message. And so then they
Name of the chapter.
Yeah. So but that's where we first find out about Forkroot as well.
Yep. And we also meet one of my favorite characters in the books. Not the favorite, but he's up in the top 10. And that was Balwer.
Seven Balwer, man. I'm a fan of Seven Balwer.
Love that guy.
We had that, remember we had that little competition about who are the most influential people in the world of Wheel of Time, and he was the very top of my list. He was the most dangerous person in all of the Wheel of Time. Non-channeler. Yes, the most dangerous non-channeler.
Military intelligence, man. Those guys. That guy is
that was my job.
Yeah.
That was my job.
Same.
So how does Amadisia deal with like young women who channel?
Well, Amadisia, it is illegal to channel at all. So what
do they do? What do they do to them?
Execute them.
They kill them. They have public executions.
And
I
mean, yeah, they execute them.
Amadisia is funny because and I've thought about this a little bit because if I was. I don't think White Cloaks are wrong necessarily based on this world, right? And just give me 30 seconds here. Amadisia is the only real theocracy that we have within the civilized lands of Randland. They base their laws on the light. They are doing public executions because it is, if you channel, it is a bastardization of whatever. Only the creator is supposed to be doing this sort of thing. They are very fundamental, where everyone to a certain degree should be fundamental because we know there's a creator and we know that there's a dark one. And these are facts in this world. We're not making this shit up like we are here. These are true facts.
Oh, they're true believers for sure. They're true believers.
And so, but they're the only true theocracy though. Everyone else is still pretty laissez-faire about religious beliefs or whatever. There is no hey, you got to really be on the light though, right? Amadisia is, but no, everyone else is just fuck it. Find your bliss. Go party.
The Amadisians are forced to follow the Book of Lothar Mantalor, though.
But are they wrong?
Well, I think it's wrong to kill anyone.
Well, it's the interpretation and the execution of that interpretation that may be wrong. But is there? If I'm a 15-year-old and I had grew up in Amadisia and my dad was a White Cloak and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm religious. I am religious and I am fervent and I truly believe that these are witches and stuff. Am I wrong?
Well, I'll give you this.
Am I wrong?
I'll give you this. Just
given that 20% of all these witches are Black Aja, by the way.
Well,
no, check it out. So yeah, being for them to be fundamentally motivated makes a lot of sense because there is literal proof that the things that they believe in are true.
Yes.
So, like, if you gave like every Christian-leaning person like proof that Jesus came down, and all of a sudden he like starts a podcast or something, like that would make their beliefs, I imagine, even more steadfast. So yeah, like in that world, right? Like
that.
when you say you call the dark one by name, and all of a sudden bad shit happens to you. That just happens. Like that's the reality in that world.
It
So
happens.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I
here's-
get that.
What's the difference? Okay, and so the White Cloaks are the
Religious zealots.
opposite. Well, they're the
Spanish
opposite
Inquisition.
of the White Tower. So although well, hold on. Although the source isn't really a religion, the White Tower lives by certain, mandates.
Oh, yeah.
A certain
A
codes and
dogma.
mandates, which
I would say there's the White Tower
which is
dogma.
not
Yeah.
unlike what the White Cloaks are doing.
I mean,
I'm not going to call them religious zealots because they do choose an animal. No, I'm talking about the Aes Sedai.
no. Okay.
No. Yeah, I completely agree with you about the White Cloaks.
No, the Aes Sedai are a political system. The Aes Sedai are political. They're not. They're not religious at all.
Yeah, they don't.
They're
They don't
political.
reference a creator. None of their oaths are around it. None of they are. Yeah, there's a wall of separation between church and state.
They
All
do,
right, Jance, I want to hear what Jance is saying. Jance, what's that?
they do mention the creator. Pedro now himself does in his POV when he says the creator was never made it, so it was never meant to. He says that the creator sealed the Dark One in.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about the. I'm sorry, I was talking about.
We're talking about the Aes Sedai. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Amadisia, I mean, if you guys know the White Cloaks, they started off as a purely religious zealot group.
Mhm.
They weren't military, but they were also getting persecuted being who they were, and started to defend themselves as well. And that's how they became a military entity.
And as we see later on in the books, it comes down to who's leading them. Right? Who's pushing the doctrine?
Right.
Yeah,
Niall, Minvalda.
That's a great point.
And
Sheridan,
insisting
and-
on this puritanical lifestyle within their borders.
But again, though, it's all relative because the way Galad puts it when he becomes the Lord Captain Commander of the White Cloaks is that our goal is to fight for the light.
Mm-hmm.
And these Aes Sedai are currently fighting for the light. He doesn't make any long-term promises that the Aes Sedai are off limits after the last battle. He is rallying his troops to fight alongside anybody who's fighting on the side of light, no matter who they are. He's not changing any doctrine. He is saying this is temporary, basically, till the last battle's over, and we don't know what happens.
But it's a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the 100%,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it also helps that his sister and he kind of mend fences, right?
Yeah.
Elaine embraces him and realizes that, and he also realizes that life is not black and white. There's a heck of a lot of gray, and he becomes less to one extreme or the other through his own personal journey, especially with meeting Perrin and finding out that Morgaze tempering his absolutism, and Barrelane too. I mean, who doesn't love a Dami Mommy to come along and help a power bottom out, right? I mean,
wait, I'm sorry.
Wow. That was so much done.
Dame Mommy?
Barrelane is totally a Dami Mommy, and Galad is 100% a power bottom. Just going to leave that there. And guys, I hate to say it, but I have to go because I have a stream in 10 minutes myself. I'm so sorry. I didn't know we were going to run long. I'm so sorry.
Really long.
We'll tell everyone where you're streaming at and what you're doing.
Yeah, we're
I'm
going to
streaming on Twitch and TikTok in about 10 minutes. We're playing Fortnite. They have a new battle mode out. It's based on Call of Duty Rebirth.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's kind of modeled after Call of Duty Rebirth. So when you die, you get to come back to life instead of like the game being over. And also episode 1, the official episode 1 of Tommy Mommies for the Win. Yes, Yes, Dovey. Yes, Dovey.
Dovey's all over
Anyway, anyway, so the first official episode of Delving the Chronicles comes out tomorrow. So look for it on all podcasting services. And it's Koala Sadai, Zool, myself, and Morshadi. And we are actually Shadi was ill the day we recorded this, so it's just the three ladies. But we're talking about can a utopian society really thrive? And the utopia that was the end of the Second Age. And it's kind of a heavy-hitting episode, but I hope you'll listen to it.
And that episode is less shot.
Less shoddy. Less shoddy, yes.
By the way,
shoddy. Shoddy.
I can't wait. Elden Ring has the DLC has just come out.
I know. I won't play it.
That too.
I die
son
too much.
has been, listen, my son has been playing that. It's horrid.
Delving
The
the
game
Chronicles,
itself
yes.
was freaking ridiculous. The DLC is horrific. I've been watching him play.
Yeah, I die too much in those Souls games. I won't ever play it. I bought Elden Ring without realizing that it was a Souls game, and I just can't. I die way too many times. It's frustrating for me. I can't put it on easy mode if I want to, and it's not my kind of game. But y'all, whoever play it, y'all, you rock.
I won't play it. I can't
You're
handle a game
amazing.
where it's meant to kill you nonstop.
Exactly.
It's not fun.
Yeah, I can't get enough of that game.
Yeah, but
Also,
are you playing as Dan or are you playing as yourself?
That's good. That's a good question.
Ryan, I just saw your title for the first time. Man, thank you. You're so sweet.
Yeah. No, what do you call it? Yeah, no, I typically make just Case Sedai as my avatar any game I play.
I love it. I love
and then the DMs start flying, huh, Ryan?
No, no, but then it's like I'm never putting on any clothes, so it's like it's real. I don't get anywhere in a game.
Scum. You should play Scum then.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can actually play. You can actually start off as in Elden Ring naked.
Yeah, same with Scum.
Yeah, you're Hollow, right? Is that what it is?
I don't remember. My son did it.
Yeah.
My son did it and beat the game in like 3 days. He's disgusting. He's so good.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, guys, I love you so much.
Bye. Have fun.
All right, bye.
I gotta go too, guys.
Bye, Jansen.
All right, Jansen's going. Hey,
Well, I guess it's just
it's mass exodus.
Wrap it like a Christmas gift.
Oh man, he really left. All right, well, Tavern.
What's up?
Let's talk about your red bubble.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah, so I design Wheel of Time merch and some other fandom merch on Redbubble and on TeePublic, and then I have Wheel and Chill stuff on Zazzle, along with a little section for Jessica Squeedeye and the Knights Who Say Chill, which is our D&D group. So yeah.
The Knights Who Say Chill.
I will be cosplay. Yeah, you don't know about the Knights Who Say? That's our D&D group.
That's a great
It's the
name.
Knights Who Say Chill, the band of really, really nice good guys. It's their official title.
I'm glad I'm not a part of that because I am a chaos monkey.
Really, no way, get out. I am happy. I am excited to see people at WatCon, and I will be cosplaying with a group. So whoever wants to join, we are going to be a 4th age version of the Band of the Red Hand. So yeah, we'll be doing that Saturday.
Hold on. So what's it? What? So give us a couple suggestions.
Okay, so I'm going to be, and there can be multiple Matts, multiple whatevers. It doesn't really matter. I personally am going to be a 4th age Matt Calvin. And I believe that we've got a Shell Vannon, and Roof Mistress is going to be almost like a Sith Red Aja, kind of. It's going to be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
You don't have a Val Luca yet, do you?
We don't have a Val Luca, no. And I will say this: I would love if you would be a Val Luca. Personally, least favorite character in the games. I mean, in the books, Val and Luca.
Come on!
I literally wish they would get rid of the entire circus thing throughout the whole series. I'm sorry, I can't deal with it because all I can picture All I can picture is Billy Zane. as
I will tell
Valenluca.
you. I will tell. No. A fourth age Valenluca would be Lil Val.
Lil Val.
Lil
He'd be a
Val.
rapper. He has to be a rapper.
Yeah. No, he totally does surf.
Hey, go scroll down on that image.
Drank.
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wait,
he's crunky. Yeah. Lil Val is.
I scroll down. Okay, yeah.
Savage.
Oh, okay. This is what you can get. Okay, this is my favorite so far.
You like the symbols? Yeah, you can go
Tell
down.
me.
My favorite is the chapter icons. Put in the Aes Sedai symbol, which I thought is that's my favorite.
Ooh, I want this mini skirt.
Here's here.
Oh, phone
Look at it.
covers and shit.
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff on Redbubble. I put designs on everything because you really don't know what people want. Some people limit it to like stickers or whatnot, but yeah, there's one. If you keep scrolling, it should pop up pretty soon. I'll show you which one it is.
Train like a Trollic Fitness Club.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean, thank you for showing these. These are great.
Luck yeah.
You like
Yeah.
Lucky? Yeah.
Luck yeah.
Look, yeah, that's great.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, let's see. I'm trying to see if it pops up. There's one. It should be. These are all the latest ones I've done.
Ooh, I like this. Tarvalon. That's cute. Well,
Keep scrolling. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. On the right.
Go
Go up. Yeah. Go up.
That one, the one on the far right. The
The
Aes Sedai symbol.
yin yang.
Yeah, that one has all the chapter icons.
Ooh.
That's my favorite. And if you scroll down, it'll show you on the different stuff. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. This is.
Oh, yeah. All right. So when I first saw it, I was picturing it as like a Ed Harding shirt where it was like all over. And I was like, oh no.
No. But yeah. Somebody, Elfwitch was like, Valenluca would be Lil Val X.
Jesus.
Little Valium.
Little Valium. Valium is not something I would ever associate with you, sir. Is all I'm saying. I don't think it would work on you. Just put that
I'll
out
give you a
there.
little Valium.
Little Valium.
Just a little.
Yeah, that's too funny.
I think it's great that they paid these people to wear your shirt and take photographs.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's great how they do that.
That's your nephew?
Yeah, that's she's my cousin.
No, this is
my next door neighbor.
This is so well done.
That's rad.
Wow. And we should have Jansen name all of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't. I would lose my... Listen, I've said this to him before on your stream. That guy is
Ooh, I
a
like that
treasure to the community.
So much.
He is a freaking treasure to the community. Anytime he starts talking about anything, I just want to like get a cup of coffee, just kind of sit back, just listen to him for hours.
He was at the end of a rainbow, and
You found him in a pot of
he
gold.
was sitting in a pot. Yeah, just like he's like, I've
hold
been
on.
waiting for you.
I got something to show you, and it's not my butt. So give me a second.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm gonna have to get an orange.
Oh, I like that mustard. Ooh, I like that
No.
kind
I
of.
told
burnt.
you, man. I'm going all out. I can't put my headphones on, but I'll go like this. I got my
Ooh.
Matt hat.
All right.
See, yeah, that's vital. You can't be
You
mad
got-
with that.
And the thing is, I thought about it. It's fourth age. I could have gone with a beanie. I could have gone with a bunch of different things. But I was like, I wanted to incorporate book stuff with the fourth age, right? So yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be like a modern. What was that movie? Oh my God! Somebody just posted this the other day on X with Donald Sutherland, where he was like the hippie tank commander guy.
Spice?
No. It's an old movie, like from the 60s, maybe the 70s. It was a World War II movie.
There was one called Spies.
It wasn't the Dirty
SPYS.
Dozen, was it?
Maybe.
I don't remember. But yeah, he was just like in charge of this tank, and he was all like, "Yeah, man, no, it's groovy, man."
Yeah.
So good.
Tulsa was fun.
I love that guy.
I'm stoked to see you at WalkCon.
Yeah, me too.
In about 2 weeks, two and a half
it's
weeks.
getting close. It's getting real close.
Yeah, savage. I'm going to Ryan. I'm going to borrow your bong. He calls his bong the Ashandarai, so I'm gonna grab that for the cosplay, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
All right, you guys have fun.
Is
got that
thank
big-
you for having me.
We love you, man. We love you more than
Kelly's Heroes.
Man.
That's the name of the movie.
than cabbies like honking their horn.
They do like that a lot. So I
They
appreciate
love it, and we love you more.
One of these days, I'm gonna have my own puppet. One day.
You know what? That's like the sign of death. When someone gets a puppet, they don't show up on our show anymore, right?
Oh, I'm not gonna like show up on your stream with a puppet.
No.
I just want a
I'm saying
puppet.
once they get a puppet, they just stop showing up.
No, I want one with a gray goatee.
Yeah.
Can you imagine with the mouth how wide that is? It would have to be.
Well, yeah. That's a lot of felt, a lot of fur.
Oh, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, like I said, next week we are doing a Pride celebration.
Nice.
We are exploring the Wheel of Time through an LGBTQ frame, seeing who would be most cool, who would not be most cool, where would the best Pride parades be, where would you want to go?
Hands down.
North Harbor. We'll talk about it.
All right. I don't know. I don't know how much I can bring to that conversation.
No, we're who are we? So that's why we're having some guests.
Oh,
we're
good.
having some people that are that can help facilitate.
I will stay home that evening. How's that?
Yeah,
You may, yeah. Do whatever you want. You are welcome to come.
I will watch for sure. I just don't know if I have anything to bring to that.
We love Pride. I mean, we're be as queer as you want to be. Is
That's
what
our
we
motto.
say. Yeah,
I love Pride. I'm all about being who you are.
yeah. Do
100%.
what you want. And so we're gonna ask. We have people that do identify within this community that we're gonna talk to them. If you want to be on, cool. If you don't, we dig it. It's cool.
No,
Yeah.
I listen. They are 100 million times % a better representation for that show than I could ever even bring to the table a conversation of any of that. So yeah, I will sit and watch for sure.
Yeah, we're just gonna be asking questions and letting the pros talk.
Nice.
That's next week, this Tuesday. Join us for Leadcast, where it's the first time reader show that we do every Tuesday. We are knee deep in the slog, so please join us and hold our hands and get us out of the quicksand. Shall you?
Yeah, please.
Much love to Jima and KK. I love them both. So say hi to them for me.
Oh, you're the best.
We
We
will.
will.
We will. All right, everyone. Until next time, run for your lives. This